Are you ready for what is about to unfold across America? Because in the next 72 hours, a historic weather pattern will slam into the United States, bringing feet of snow to some areas while others see record warmth. And if you live anywhere from California to Maine, from Seattle to Miami, what happens this weekend will impact your Valentine's Day plans in ways you cannot imagine. Right now, as I am speaking to you, 3 massive storm systems are spinning into position. The first one is already crossing the west coast. The second, much stronger system is building off California and will explode across the southern states this Friday into Saturday. And the third, that one is so powerful, so massive, that meteorologists are calling it a potential blizzard maker for next week. We are talking about 5 to 10 feet of snow in the Sierra Mountains. We are talking about severe thunderstorms with damaging winds across the deep south. We are talking about temperatures 40 degrees above normal in some cities while others freeze. But here is what you need to know right now. In exactly 30 seconds, I am going to reveal which major cities will see the most dramatic changes this week. I am going to show you the exact timing for when these storms hit your area. And I am going to give you something nobody else is talking about, the hidden storm system that could bring a surprise blizzard to the Northeast around February 16th or 17th. Let me ask you this. Do you know when the heavy snow starts in your city? Do you know if you will face severe weather this Valentine's Day weekend? Do you know whether you should be preparing for flooding, ice, or record heat? Stay with me because at the 3-minute 20-second mark of this video, I am going to break down the severe weather threat for Friday and Saturday. At the 5-minute mark, I will deliver on my promise to show you that surprise northeast storm. And by the end, you will know exactly what to expect for your specific location. But first, comment below and tell me where you are watching from. Tell me your city and state, because I want to make sure you get a personalized forecast for your area. Are you in Dallas, Phoenix, Chicago, Boston, New York, Atlanta? Drop your location in the comments right now and let us dive into what is coming. Let us start with what is happening right this second. As of Tuesday evening, February 10th, 2026, we have an active weather pattern unlike anything we have seen in months. There is a clipper system bringing snow to New England right now. Blue on the radar means snowfall, and heavy pockets are moving across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and western Maine. Some of this is reaching the Boston area and Massachusetts. Over the next few hours this evening, snowfall will become heavier and more widespread. We are talking about down east Maine, the Boston metro area, Cape Cod, Providence, and Hartford. Some areas might even see freezing drizzle mixing in around New York City with sleet. If you are traveling tonight across upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, or Massachusetts, you need to be extremely careful. Visibility will drop below half a mile as snow rates exceed 1 inch per hour. This will continue through midnight, maybe 2 in the morning. Once we get past that time frame, it transitions to more scattered, hit-or-miss snow showers going into Wednesday morning. But here's the thing. We also have lake-effect snow bands developing off Lake Ontario that will lower visibility across western and upstate New York. Sharp snow squalls will move through the Northeast on Wednesday. These are intense bursts of heavy snow that can create whiteout conditions in minutes. Now, how much snow are we talking about? Through 7 in the morning on Friday, February 13th, most areas across New England and southeastern Canada will pick up a few inches, but there will be pockets of 3 to 6 inches in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and upstate New York. Meanwhile, out west, our strong low-pressure system is moving onshore along the California coast. Coastal California is seeing decent rain this evening. But look at the higher elevations. The northern and central Sierras are getting hammered with snow. This continues through daybreak Wednesday. We are even seeing snow showers in southeastern Oregon and western Nevada. As we go through Wednesday, that onshore flow means more snow for the Rockies. This is something we will be watching very closely. And here is where it gets really interesting. The middle of the country, the central United States, is going to stay pretty quiet over the next few days. Why? Because a ridge of high pressure is sitting right over the Central Plains. That ridge is keeping things calm, but it is also doing something else. It is creating a dramatic temperature contrast. Let me show you the temperature situation. Today, Tuesday, we saw a massive warm-up across the southern half of the lower 48 states. Record highs were recorded in Kentucky, eastern Kentucky, western Kentucky, from Paducah all the way to Pikeville. We saw upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon. The deep south and southeast saw mid 70s. If you were outside today, you felt that warmth compared to what we have been experiencing all winter. But do not get too comfortable. Over the next few days, temperatures will swing wildly. Yes, we will continue to see warm conditions as long as that ridge stays in place through Valentine's Day weekend. In fact, Valentine's Day itself, Saturday the 14th, could be extremely warm across the northern plains and upper Midwest. We are talking about temperature anomalies 40 degrees above normal. Let me repeat that, 40 degrees above normal. Then on Sunday the 15th, same story, about 40 degrees above normal again through the plains and across the Midwest. So if you live in Minneapolis, Fargo, Sioux Falls, Omaha, Kansas City, you are in for a shockingly warm Valentine's Day weekend. We could see temperatures in the 50s, even 60s in some spots that normally would be in the teens and 20s this time of year. But here's the twist. While the central United States bakes in warmth, the West Coast is about to get absolutely crushed with cold, snow, and rain. And the South? The South is about to face severe weather. Let me explain what is happening with these storm systems. We have 3 distinct storms to track over the next 10 days. The first one is moving across the southern plains this afternoon. It is not very impressive. It is the weakest of the 3. But areas that desperately need rain will take anything they can get. There will be slightly heavier precipitation as you get into Arkansas, western Tennessee, and Kentucky. And yes, that Clipper system I mentioned earlier will bring more snow to New England, but all eyes are trending out west for our second disturbance. This one arrives Wednesday and will bring heavy rain back to much of California, and snow, heavy snow, for the Sierras. Those mountains are going to be absolutely impacted as we get into next week. We are talking about snowfall totals that are hard to believe. Here is the setup going into Thursday with that second stronger system. We definitely have continued warmer temperature anomalies for much of the middle part of the country. Winter is hanging on across the mid-Atlantic and New England across the East Coast, but our second disturbance, that is the main feature as we head into the weekend. Going into Friday, heading into Valentine's Day, we have got a pretty significant system. This is actually becoming more aggressive as the newest computer model data comes in. It has a lot of atmospheric lift associated with it. It will tap into Gulf of Mexico moisture, and this could be a fairly significant event that many areas have not seen in a couple of months. These are welcome rains moving back into the picture. If you look at the water vapor transport, the Gulf is wide open for business. This is going to create lift. You have got the western system providing energy. You have got lift out ahead of it. That is going to wring out precipitation. With all those warmer temperature anomalies, it is almost like a spring storm. We will likely start to see rumbles of thunder as we head into Friday night, getting into a lot of lightning, heavier rain, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, likely in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is likely going to be a heavy rain setup as you move further north into Oklahoma. Then we see stronger instability once you move into East Texas. Areas across Louisiana will likely get severe storms. Much of Arkansas is likely locked into more of the heavy rain aspect of this system. Now, I promised you at the 3-minute 20-second mark I would break down the severe weather threat. So here we go. The latest guidance shows an area highlighted for potential severe weather. I feel this will be east of Dallas. When storms turn severe, this will likely be into East Texas and Louisiana. You will get more of a heavy rainmaker for Oklahoma and Arkansas. Any severe storms would likely be pushed further south, getting into Louisiana, Mississippi, deep South Texas, Southeast Texas. Then that moves across into Alabama, southern Alabama as we head into Saturday. It continues into portions of Georgia. Let us break down the rainfall totals because this is important. This area has been in a fairly significant drought for much of winter. So this is definitely a good sign to see multi-inch rains heading back. Most of this falls Friday, Saturday into Sunday. You are looking at 1 to 2 inches, possibly 3 to 4 inches in those areas shaded in red. Much of Oklahoma, much of Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, western Tennessee. If you move towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area, likely 1 to 3 inches. Central Texas, slightly lighter amounts. And then there are the heavy rains with another system coming off the west coast for much of California. Big-time rains heading back. Here are the cities that need to pay close attention to heavy rainfall Friday into Saturday. Oklahoma City, you could see marginal risk for excessive rainfall. Tulsa, you are in that zone. Lawton and Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Wichita Falls and Abilene, Texas. This is Friday into Saturday time frame. Then for the weekend, Valentine's Day weekend, Saturday into Sunday, we have a slight risk for excessive rainfall. Southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas, central Arkansas. Little Rock, you need to watch this closely. Fort Smith, McAllister, Oklahoma. Northern suburbs of Dallas-Fort Worth, including Denton, Sherman, and Paris, Texas. You may start to see heavier rainfall by day 5, which is Saturday into Sunday. Now let me give you the timing you desperately need. When does this storm system impact your area? If you are in New Mexico or West Texas, Friday daytime, you start seeing the first effects. Lubbock, Amarillo, El Paso, this is when your weather changes. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Friday evening into Friday night, that is when the heavy rain and thunderstorms arrive. We are talking about Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, Frisco. Friday night is when it gets active. If you are in Oklahoma, Friday night into early Saturday morning is your time frame. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, plan accordingly. If you are in Arkansas, Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon. Little Rock, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Jonesboro. Saturday is your day. If you are in Louisiana, Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Shreveport, Monroe, Alexandria, this is when storms roll through. If you are in Mississippi, Saturday evening into Sunday morning. Jackson, Tupelo, Meridian, Hattiesburg, Saturday night into Sunday. If you are in Alabama, Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, Huntsville, Sunday is your day for heavy rain and possible severe weather. If you are in Georgia, Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Atlanta, Macon, Columbus, Albany, Sunday afternoon and evening. If you are in the Carolinas, Sunday evening into Monday morning, Charlotte, Raleigh, Columbia, Charleston. This is your time frame. Now, what about the severe weather threat specifically? The National Weather Service will put out alerts as it gets closer, but here is what we know right now. As we go through Friday, we have a marginal chance for severe weather developing. As we go through Saturday, this grows into a slight risk where you get that strong energy from the storm system bringing chances for hail, damaging winds, and maybe an isolated tornado threat. As you go through Sunday, maybe another marginal risk across the southeast. But remember, this is also bringing beneficial rain. We desperately need this moisture. Our drought conditions have been terrible. If you look at the latest drought monitor, we need rain across the Ohio Valley, going across the Great Lakes. We need it going right up the East Coast and all of Florida. Unfortunately, Florida is not going to get much of this precipitation. But across the south central region, across the Missouri Valley, we are going to get rainfall that is badly needed for the drought. We also need it over the Four Corners region, and we need it for the Northwest. And that region is really going to benefit from this next weather pattern. So far, as we go through Friday, we have a marginal risk for flash flooding. This grows as we go through Saturday, bringing another marginal for flash flooding. This extends even further for Sunday. Let me talk about what is happening in specific cities across America because I want you to know exactly what to expect where you live. If you are in Seattle, Washington, you are looking at rain Wednesday into Thursday. Then more rain moves in for the weekend and into next week. Temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. If you are in Portland, Oregon, similar story. Rain Wednesday and Thursday, more rain for the weekend. Higher elevations in the Cascades will see heavy snow. Temperatures in the upper 40s if you are in San Francisco, California. Rain returns Wednesday. Heavy rain Thursday into Friday. More waves of rain over the weekend and into next week. Temperatures in the mid-50s to near 60. If you are in Los Angeles, California, rain Wednesday into Thursday. Heavy rain Friday into Saturday. Flood risk is increasing. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. If you are in San Diego, California, rain moves in Thursday. Heavier rain Friday and Saturday. Temperatures in the low 60s. If you are in Sacramento, California, rain Wednesday through the weekend. Heavy at times. Temperatures in the mid-50s. If you are in Las Vegas, Nevada, rain possible Thursday into Friday. This is rare moisture for the desert. Temperatures in the low 60s. If you are in Phoenix, Arizona, rain Thursday into Friday, possibly extending into Saturday. Temperatures in the mid-60s to near 70. If you are in Salt Lake City, Utah, snow returns Wednesday and continues into next week. Heavy snow likely in the mountains. Temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s in the valley. If you are in Denver, Colorado, quiet weather through Friday. Then snow chances increase for the weekend and into next week as colder air returns. Temperatures in the 40s through Friday, then dropping. If you are in Albuquerque, New Mexico, rain and snow mix possible Friday. Temperatures in the low 50s. If you are in El Paso, Texas, rain possible Friday. Temperatures in the low 60s. If you are in Billings, Montana, quiet through Friday. Snow chances increase next week. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s, then turning colder. If you are in Minneapolis, Minnesota, this is remarkable. Mostly sunny and mild through the weekend. Valentine's Day could reach the 50s, maybe even near 60. That is 40 degrees above normal. Next week, snow chances return. If you are in Fargo, North Dakota, similar to Minneapolis, mild and quiet through the weekend. Temperatures possibly reaching the upper 40s to low 50s. If you are in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, mild through the weekend. Temperatures in the 50s. Next week turns colder with snow chances. If you are in Omaha, Nebraska, mild and quiet through Friday. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Next week turns more active. If you are in Kansas City, Missouri, mild through Friday. Rain possible Friday night into Saturday. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. If you are in Wichita, Kansas, mild through Friday. Rain and storms possible Friday night into Saturday. Temperatures in the 60s. If you are in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, I already mentioned this, but let me be specific. Mild through Friday. Heavy rain and possible severe storms Friday night into Saturday. Rainfall totals 1 to 3 inches. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. If you are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, same as Oklahoma City. Friday night into Saturday is your active period. If you are in Dallas, Texas, mild through Friday. Heavy rain and thunderstorms Friday evening into Saturday morning. Wind gusts could reach 50 miles per hour. Rainfall 1 to 3 inches. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. If you are in Fort Worth, Texas, same as Dallas. Friday evening into Saturday morning is your time frame. If you are in Houston, Texas, increasing clouds Friday. Rain and storms move in Saturday. Heavy rain possible. Temperatures in the 70s. If you are in Austin, Texas, increasing clouds Friday. Rain Saturday. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. If you are in San Antonio, Texas, similar to Austin. Rain Saturday. Temperatures in the 70s. If you are in Little Rock, Arkansas, rain moves in Friday night. Heavy rain Saturday. Rainfall totals 2 to 4 inches possible. Temperatures in the 60s. If you are in Shreveport, Louisiana, rain and storms Saturday afternoon into evening. Heavy rain possible. Temperatures in the 70s. If you are in New Orleans, Louisiana, rain and storms Saturday night into Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-70s. If you are in Jackson, Mississippi, heavy rain Saturday night into Sunday. Possible severe weather, temperatures in the 70s. If you are in Memphis, Tennessee, rain Friday night into Saturday, heavy at times. Temperatures in the 60s. If you are in Nashville, Tennessee, rain Saturday. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. If you are in Birmingham, Alabama, heavy rain Sunday. Possible severe weather. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. If you are in Montgomery, Alabama, heavy rain Sunday. Possible severe storms. Temperatures in the mid-70s. If you are in Mobile, Alabama, rain and storms Saturday night into Sunday. Temperatures in the 70s. If you are in Atlanta, Georgia, heavy rain Sunday afternoon and evening. Possible severe weather. Temperatures in the mid-60s. If you are in Macon, Georgia, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70. If you are in Savannah, Georgia, rain Sunday into Monday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. If you are in Charlotte, North Carolina, rain Sunday evening into Monday. Temperatures in the low 60s. If you are in Raleigh, North Carolina, rain Sunday night into Monday. Temperatures in the low 60s. If you are in Columbia, South Carolina, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-60s. If you are in Charleston, South Carolina, rain Sunday into Monday. Temperatures in the mid-60s. If you are in Miami, Florida, mostly dry through the weekend. Isolated showers possible. Temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80. If you are in Tampa, Florida, isolated showers possible Sunday. Mostly dry. Temperatures in the mid-70s. If you are in Jacksonville, Florida, rain Sunday into Monday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. If you are in Tallahassee, Florida, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70. If you are in Louisville, Kentucky, rain Saturday. Temperatures in the 50s. If you are in Cincinnati, Ohio, rain Saturday. Temperatures in the mid-50s. If you are in Indianapolis, Indiana, rain Saturday. Temperatures in the 50s. If you are in Chicago, Illinois, quiet through the weekend. Mild temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Next week turns more active. If you are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, quiet through the weekend. Mild temperatures in the 40s. Next week, snow possible. If you are in Detroit, Michigan, quiet through Friday. Rain possible Saturday. Temperatures in the 40s. If you are in St. Louis, Missouri, rain Friday night into Saturday. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. If you are in Des Moines, Iowa, quiet through Friday. Mild with temperatures in the 50s. Next week turns colder. If you are in New York City, New York, lake effect, snow and flurries tonight into Wednesday, then quiet Thursday and Friday. Next week, we need to watch a potential storm. Temperatures in the upper 30s to mid 40s. If you are in Boston, Massachusetts, snow this evening into tonight. A few inches possible, then quieter Wednesday through Friday. Temperatures in the 30s and low 40s. Next week, watching potential storm. If you are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, mostly quiet through Friday. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Watching next week. If you are in Washington, D.C., mostly quiet through Friday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Watching next week. If you are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, mostly quiet through Friday. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s. If you are in Buffalo, New York, lake effect snow tonight into Wednesday. Then quieter. Temperatures in the 30s. If you are in Providence, Rhode Island, snow this evening. Then quieter Thursday and Friday. Temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. If you are in Hartford, Connecticut, snow this evening into tonight. Then quieter. Temperatures in the upper 30s. If you are in Portland, Maine, snow this evening into tonight. Several inches possible. Temperatures in the 30s. Now, here is what you have been waiting for. At the 5-minute mark, I promised to show you that surprise northeast storm. Let me deliver on that promise right now. As we flip the calendar going into next week, we have colder air building back across the western regions. Another cold shot of air heading into that third week of February. The warmer temperature anomalies hang tight across the center part of the country, but we see Arctic air building back up into Alaska and western Canada. You will definitely see colder anomalies with heavy snow moving into California, Nevada, and Utah. But look at what develops around February 16th and 17th. We have a low pressure system that could move off the coast of the Northeast. This is still several days away, so details can change. But the European model is showing a strong system, possibly down to 960 to 970 millibars. If this tracks just right, close enough to the coast, this could produce a blizzard for the Northeast. Here is what the latest 12Z European model shows. As we go into Sunday, February 15th, that Valentine's Day weekend storm is moving through the Carolinas and Georgia. Then as we go into Monday the 16th, depending on how far offshore this system stays, we could either have a direct hit or a miss for the Northeast. If the storm tracks closer to the coast, we are looking at a potential blizzard for areas from New York City through Boston and into Maine. Heavy snow, strong winds, whiteout conditions. If it tracks further offshore, it misses most of the I-95 corridor and impacts Nova Scotia instead, potentially bringing another blizzard there by the 16th or 17th. The GFS model is showing a more suppressed system and does not bring much to the Northeast. But given the track record of the GFS this winter season, I am leaning more toward the European model solution. We will keep watching this closely. Over the past several model cycles, this potential northeast storm has decreased in intensity for snow along I-95, which tells us we probably will not see a lot of snow for the immediate coast, but there is still a chance, especially for interior areas. The signal has been trending up on the rainfall side, though, so the warm side of the system shows heavier rain possible. The Weather Prediction Center is already seeing that signal. They have a day 4 marginal risk of excessive rainfall for parts of the south and southeast. Now let us talk about the incredible snow that is coming to the West Coast. Because what is about to happen in California, Nevada, Utah, and the Pacific Northwest is truly historic. If we look at the latest update from the Climate Prediction Center, we are seeing a high risk across the Sierras for heavy snow. Some of the blended model guidance is just impressive. We are talking feet of snow, upwards of 10 feet or more in some of the Sierra Mountains. Crazy amounts of snow that could unfold. Let me give you specific snowfall totals for the next 10 days. The blend of models shows 175 inches in some locations. That is some serious snowfall across these mountain ranges. We are talking 5 to 6 inches per hour at times. Crazy snowfall rates dumping feet of snow, significant snow across the Sierras, but even pretty healthy totals as you move inland. For the next 10 days through February 21st, we have these clipper systems coming across off the northwest flow, producing heavier snow across the upper elevations. Even a foot or more is definitely not out of the question across New England and upstate New York. Lighter amounts as you move into the mid-Atlantic region. These systems will be moving across southern Canada, the northern plains, getting into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. The western regions will be adding up totals in a big way and eating away at snowfall deficits heading into next week. Here are specific snowfall forecasts for key mountain locations. Mammoth Mountain, California, you could see 8 to 12 feet over the next 10 days. Squaw Valley, California, 7 to 10 feet. Heavenly, California, 6 to 9 feet. These are incredible totals. In the Cascades, Mount Bachelor, Oregon, could see 4 to 6 feet. Crystal Mountain, Washington, 3 to 5 feet. Stevens Pass, Washington, 4 to 6 feet. In the Rockies, Park City, Utah, could see 3 to 5 feet. Alta and Snowbird, Utah, 4 to 7 feet. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, 2 to 4 feet. Aspen, Colorado, 2 to 4 feet. If we look at precipitation for the next 10 days, we are seeing signs that La Nina is finally losing its grip. It is warming up big time in the equatorial Pacific. We are starting to see a more active subtropical jet stream. This is bringing benefits. More moisture to work with, warmer temperature anomalies. Everything is coming together to produce healthy, much-needed rains across regions that desperately need it. A couple inches to 3 to 4 inches, even impressive 5 to 6 inch totals are not out of the question. Look at California. It gets hammered for much of next week with heavy snow in the mountain ranges and flooding rains across the coastal regions getting into the Pacific Northwest. Even the Four Corners region and desert Southwest will be getting much-needed precipitation. The latest drought index shows where they will get hammered the most is where they need it most. We have been fighting La Nina for much of the fall and winter, but we are finally starting to see it losing its grip. It could be gone by the time we head into spring. Negative 0.5 is officially out of La Nina status. We are definitely starting to see warmer anomalies building across the equatorial Pacific. I think we are going to start eating away at the desperate drought conditions across these regions. But we do see signs going into that last week of February of colder air trying to come back. It has been hanging up across Alaska and Northwest Canada most of February. Most ensemble models are starting to show this coming back, maybe not until the last week of February, but nonetheless, we definitely see cooler anomalies coming back. First building across British Columbia, then slowly moving across the western regions, eventually heading into the central United States by the last week of February. Let me give you a city-by-city snowfall forecast for the next 10 days across the West and Rockies. Reno, Nevada, 6 to 12 inches of snow in the city with 2 to 4 feet in nearby mountains. Lake Tahoe, California, 5 to 8 feet at lake level, 8 to 12 feet at higher elevations. Flagstaff, Arizona, 1 to 2 feet of snow. Santa Fe, New Mexico, 8 to 16 inches. Aspen, Colorado, 2 to 4 feet. Vail, Colorado, 2 to 3 feet. Breckenridge, Colorado, 18 to 30 inches. Park City, Utah, 3 to 5 feet. Salt Lake City, Utah, 4 to 8 inches in the valley, 2 to 4 feet in the mountains. Jackson, Wyoming, 2 to 4 feet in the mountains. Bozeman, Montana, 1 to 2 feet. Missoula, Montana, 1 to 2 feet. Spokane, Washington, 6 to 12 inches. Bend, Oregon, 1 to 2 feet. Now let us talk about the temperature swings because this is remarkable. As we go through this week, you see a big above-average temperature anomaly pushing through. I'm going to show you the temperatures coming so you do not get fooled by the overall pattern. For today, Tuesday, you have a big warm-up happening, especially across the southern half of the lower 48. With wind chills, it stays cold across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast. For Wednesday morning, cold temperatures come back down again with very cold wind chills, even though you are in an above-average temperature pattern overall. But for highs on Wednesday, look how much the warmth contracts. Very warm temperatures stay right along the Gulf Coast. It is not spreading further north until next week. Thursday morning comes back down again with freezing temperatures and cold wind chills. Friday, same thing. Cold mornings, milder afternoons. Saturday morning, when you have that storm system moving across the south, we have more freezing temperatures coming down and strong wind chills. But by Tuesday of next week through lunchtime, a big warmer anomaly comes through all the way towards the north, bringing the 40s. As you go through Wednesday and Thursday of next week, just a warmer pattern in general across much of the nation. Here is what is fascinating. We are going into week 3, February 16th through 23rd, and it stays mild east of the Continental Divide all the way to the East Coast. It is a mild trend with potentially record-breaking highs east of the Rockies. Then cooler trends appear where we have been waiting all winter season for cool air across the west coast. It is finally showing up in mid-February across the western third of the nation and into western Canada. As we go into week 4, February 23rd through March 1st, that continues. Even colder air is expected to reside across southwest Canada, which could provide the western third of the nation with even colder temperatures than what we are seeing in mid-February by late February. And the east is still very warm. We have to watch this pattern because dynamic storm systems develop when you get those really tight temperature gradients between cool air out west and warm, moist, unstable air in the east. That gives you a recipe for bigger storms. On the northern end, where the colder air is just marginally cold, that is where we could be seeing accumulating snow and maybe ice storm transitions. Further to the south, we will see more heavy rain and severe weather. If you are in the mid and lower Mississippi River Valley and into the southeast, this is a pattern you need to pay attention to as we go into the middle and late portion of February. Heavy rainfall and severe weather threats will be increasing for you. Let me give you the extended outlook for major cities going into late February and early March. Chicago, you stay mild through mid-February, then turning colder late February with increased snow chances. Minneapolis, very warm mid-February, then turning colder late month with snow. Denver, snow increases mid to late February as the pattern turns colder. Seattle, active with rain and mountain snow through late February. Phoenix, drier after this week with warming temperatures late month. Los Angeles, rain tapers off after next week, then drier late February. Dallas, drier after this weekend, but watching for more storms late February. Houston, drier after this weekend, warm temperatures continue. Atlanta, drier after Sunday, but more rain possible late February. Miami, continued warm and mainly dry conditions. New York City, watching potential storm mid-month, then quieter late February, but could turn more active early March. Boston, same as New York. Watching mid-month, then monitoring late February into March. Now, let me address flooding concerns because this is critical. As we go through next week, the West Coast has a high risk for flooding. We are talking about atmospheric river events, multiple storms just sitting along the West Coast bringing excessive rainfall. Here are cities with highest flooding risk over the next 7 to 10 days. San Francisco, California, high risk for urban flooding and debris flows. Oakland, California, high risk for urban flooding. San Jose, California, moderate to high risk. Sacramento, California, high risk, especially along rivers. Los Angeles, California, high risk for urban flooding and mudslides in burn scar areas. San Diego, California, moderate risk for urban flooding. Eureka, California, high risk for river flooding. Redding, California, moderate to high risk. Fresno, California, moderate risk. In the south and southeast this weekend, watch for flash flooding in these areas. Little Rock, Arkansas, moderate risk Saturday. Shreveport, Louisiana, moderate risk Saturday. Jackson, Mississippi, moderate risk Saturday night into Sunday. Birmingham, Alabama, moderate risk Sunday. Montgomery, Alabama, moderate risk Sunday. Atlanta, Georgia, moderate risk Sunday. Let me also address wind concerns. With these storm systems, we will see gusty winds in multiple areas. Friday night into Saturday, Dallas-Fort Worth could see wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour. Oklahoma City, wind gusts 45 to 55 miles per hour. Wichita, Kansas, wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Saturday into Sunday, Little Rock could see gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Jackson, Mississippi, gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Birmingham, gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Along the west coast next week, coastal areas could see wind gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour at times, especially in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. Now, here is something important about travel. If you have Valentine's Day weekend travel plans, you need to know this. Air travel could be significantly impacted Friday through Sunday at these major airports. Dallas-Fort Worth International, expect delays and cancellations Friday evening through Saturday morning. Houston-Bush Intercontinental, delays likely Saturday. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International, delays likely Sunday. Charlotte-Douglas International, delays possible Sunday night. New Orleans International, delays possible Saturday night. Memphis International, delays likely Saturday. Nashville International, delays possible Saturday. Little Rock National, delays likely Saturday. On the West Coast, expect impacts next week at San Francisco International, Los Angeles International, San Diego International, Portland International, and Seattle-Tacoma International. Delays and cancellations are likely Monday through Wednesday of next week. Road travel will also be impacted. Interstate 10 from West Texas through Louisiana could see hazardous conditions Friday night through Sunday. Interstate 20 from Texas through Mississippi, same time frame. Interstate 30 from Texas through Arkansas, Friday night through Saturday. Interstate 40 across Arkansas and Tennessee, Saturday. Interstate 35 from Oklahoma through Texas, Friday night through Saturday. On the West Coast, Interstate 5 through California will be hazardous next week with flooding rain and mountain snow. Interstate 80 through the Sierras will be extremely dangerous, possibly closed at times due to heavy snow. Interstate 15 through the Cajon Pass in Southern California could see impacts. Interstate 90 across Washington could see mountain pass closures. In the Northeast, if that storm develops mid-next week, Interstate 95 from Boston through New York could be impacted. Interstate 84 through Connecticut and New York could see impacts. Interstate 90 through Massachusetts and New York could be impacted. Let me give you some preparation advice based on where you live. If you live in the South or Southeast, here is what you need to do before Friday. Charge all devices and have backup batteries. Have flashlights and batteries ready. Fill up your gas tank. Secure outdoor furniture and decorations. Clean out gutters and downspouts. Check your sump pump if you have one. Have sandbags ready if you are in a flood-prone area. Stock up on non-perishable food and water for at least 3 days. Have cash on hand in case power goes out. Make sure you have any needed medications. If you live in California or the West Coast, prepare for extended periods of rain and mountain snow. Same preparations as above, plus ensure you have tire chains if traveling to mountain areas. Know your evacuation routes if in burn scar areas or flood zones. Move vehicles to higher ground if in flood-prone areas. Prepare for possible extended power outages. If you live in the Rockies or Mountain West, prepare for heavy snow. Have emergency supplies in your vehicle, including blankets, food, water, and a shovel. Stock up on groceries before storms arrive. Have alternative heating sources if power goes out. Ensure you have enough fuel for snow blowers or generators. If you live in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, monitor forecasts closely for that potential mid-month storm. Be prepared for rapid changes. Have winter emergency supplies ready just in case. Let me give you an agriculture and livestock impact forecast because this matters for farmers and ranchers. In Texas and Oklahoma, this weekend's rain will be beneficial for winter wheat. However, strong winds Friday night could cause some lodging in taller wheat. Livestock will need shelter from wind and rain Friday through Sunday. In Arkansas and the Mid-South, heavy rain will benefit soil moisture but could delay early spring field work. Livestock will need shelter from heavy rain and storms. In California, the coming rains will be excellent for soil moisture and reservoirs, but could delay citrus harvest and early vegetable planting. Flooding could impact orchards in low-lying areas. In the Rockies and Mountain West, heavy snow will provide excellent moisture for the upcoming growing season. Livestock on range will need supplemental feeding if snow depths become too deep. Now, let me address something nobody else is talking about. The long-term pattern suggests we could see a very active severe weather season this spring. Why? Because we are transitioning out of La Nina. We have warming waters in the equatorial Pacific. We have strong temperature contrast developing between the cool west and warm east. All of this sets up for dynamic storm systems in March, April, and May. If you live anywhere from Texas through the Mississippi Valley and into the Ohio Valley and Southeast, you need to start preparing now for what could be an above-normal severe weather season. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather warnings. Have a severe weather safety plan for your home and workplace. Know where your safe spots are. Have emergency supplies ready. Here is the timing for when severe weather season typically ramps up. Late February into early March, we start seeing isolated severe weather across the southern plains and deep south. Mid to late March, severe weather becomes more frequent from Texas through the southeast. April is peak severe weather month for the south. May is peak for the plains and Midwest. Given the pattern we are seeing develop, I would not be surprised if we see our first significant tornado outbreak in late February or early March, earlier than normal. Let me give you specific county-by-county impacts for the Valentine's Day weekend storm. In Texas, Tarrant County, Dallas County, Collin County, Denton County, heavy rain and thunderstorms Friday evening through Saturday morning. Rainfall 1 to 3 inches. Wind gusts to 50 miles per hour possible. In Oklahoma, Oklahoma County, Tulsa County, Cleveland County, heavy rain Friday night through Saturday morning. Rainfall 1 to 3 inches. Strong wind gusts possible. In Arkansas, Pulaski County, Washington County, Sebastian County, heavy rain Saturday. Rainfall 2 to 4 inches. Flash flooding possible. In Louisiana, Caddo Parish, Ouachita Parish, heavy rain and possible severe storms Saturday afternoon and evening. Rainfall 2 to 4 inches. In Mississippi, Hinds County, DeSoto County, heavy rain and possible severe storms Saturday night into Sunday. Rainfall 2 to 4 inches. In Alabama, Jefferson County, Montgomery County, Mobile County, heavy rain and possible severe storms Sunday. Rainfall 1 to 3 inches. In Georgia, Fulton County, Gwinnett County, Cobb County, heavy rain and possible severe storms Sunday afternoon and evening. Rainfall 1 to 2 inches. Now, I want to talk about something critical for anyone with outdoor plans this Valentine's Day weekend. If you have outdoor dinner reservations, outdoor activities planned, sporting events to attend, here is what you need to know. Friday evening in Dallas-Fort Worth, outdoor activities not recommended due to rain and storms. Saturday across much of the South, outdoor activities should be moved indoors or rescheduled. Sunday across the Southeast, same situation. However, if you are in the upper Midwest or Northern Plains, Valentine's Day Saturday looks absolutely beautiful. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s, sunshine, light winds. It will be a gorgeous day for outdoor activities in Minneapolis, Fargo, Sioux Falls, Omaha, Kansas City, and similar cities. In the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, Valentine's Day weekend looks quiet and relatively mild. Good for outdoor activities in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. On the West Coast, rainy and not ideal for outdoor plans in California, Oregon, or Washington. Let me give you a rapid-fire forecast update for smaller cities and towns that do not always get detailed coverage. Lubbock, Texas, rain Friday. Waco, Texas, heavy rain Friday night into Saturday. Tyler, Texas, heavy rain and storms Saturday. Texarkana, rain and storms Saturday. Fayetteville, Arkansas, heavy rain Saturday. Jonesboro, Arkansas, heavy rain Saturday. Paducah, Kentucky, rain Saturday. Bowling Green, Kentucky, rain Saturday. Evansville, Indiana, rain Saturday. Lafayette, Louisiana, heavy rain and storms Saturday night. Lake Charles, Louisiana, heavy rain and storms Saturday night. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, heavy rain and storms Sunday. Gulfport, Mississippi, heavy rain and storms Sunday. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, heavy rain and storms Sunday. Dothan, Alabama, heavy rain and storms Sunday. Columbus, Georgia, heavy rain Sunday. Augusta, Georgia, rain Sunday. Greenville, South Carolina, rain Sunday night. Asheville, North Carolina, rain Sunday night. Wilmington, North Carolina, rain Monday. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, rain Sunday night into Monday. Florence, South Carolina, rain Sunday night. Fayetteville, North Carolina, rain Monday. In the west, Fresno, California, heavy rain Wednesday through next week. Bakersfield, California, heavy rain Wednesday through weekend. Santa Barbara, California, heavy rain Thursday through weekend. Monterey, California, heavy rain Wednesday through weekend. Eugene, Oregon, rain Wednesday through next week. Medford, Oregon, rain Wednesday through next week. Boise, Idaho, snow possible next week. Spokane, Washington, snow next week. Yakima, Washington, snow next week. Cheyenne, Wyoming, snow possible next week. Casper, Wyoming, snow possible next week. Rapid City, South Dakota, mild through weekend, snow possible next week. Bismarck, North Dakota, mild through weekend. Let me address questions I know you are asking. Will this Valentine's Day weekend storm produce tornadoes? Possibly. The highest tornado risk appears to be Saturday across East Texas and Louisiana. We are talking EF0 to EF2 strength tornadoes most likely. The severe weather risk is not extremely high, but it is there. Stay weather aware. Will the northeast storm next week be a blizzard? Too early to say with certainty. It depends on the exact track. If it comes close enough to the coast, yes, blizzard conditions are possible from New York through Boston. If it stays offshore, it will be a miss. We will know more in the next 2 to 3 days. How much snow will the Sierras really get? The models are consistently showing 8 to 14 feet over the next 10 days. This is not an exaggeration. Multiple strong atmospheric river events will slam the mountains with incredible snow totals. This could be one of the biggest snow events in years for the Sierras. Will the flooding in California be dangerous? Yes. This is a serious flooding threat for coastal areas and valleys. Burn scar areas from previous wildfires are at especially high risk for debris flows and mudslides. If you are told to evacuate, do it. When will the weather pattern change? The active pattern for the West Coast continues through late February. The warm pattern for the central and eastern U.S. continues through mid to late February, then turns colder late month. The severe weather threat for the South increases late February into March. Now let me wrap this up with final thoughts and the most important information you need to remember. Number 1. 3 major storm systems are impacting the United States over the next 10 days. The first is happening now in the Northeast. The second hits the South Friday through Sunday. The third slams the West Coast all of next week. Number 2, Valentine's Day weekend will be stormy across the South with heavy rain and severe weather. It will be beautiful and warm across the upper Midwest and northern plains. It will be rainy on the West Coast. Number 3, a surprise storm could bring snow or a blizzard to the Northeast around February 16th or 17th. This is still uncertain, but the European model is showing it. Monitor forecasts closely. Number 4, the Sierra Mountains in California will see 8 to 14 feet of snow over the next 10 days. This is historic. If you ski or snowboard, this is incredible news. If you live in these areas, prepare for major impacts. Number 5, severe weather is possible Friday through Sunday from Texas to Georgia. The highest risk is Saturday across eastern Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Have a plan and stay weather aware. Number 6, temperature swings will be dramatic. The upper Midwest could be 40 degrees above normal on Valentine's Day. The West Coast turns much colder next week. Number 7, the long-term pattern suggests an active severe weather season this spring. Start preparing now if you live in tornado-prone areas. Now, before I go, I want to remind you to comment below with your city and state. Tell me where you are watching from so I can give you more specific information for your area. Are you prepared for what is coming? Do you have questions about your specific location? Drop a comment and let me know. And here is a teaser for my next video. Tomorrow, I am going to show you exactly where that northeast storm will track. I will have updated snowfall maps, updated severe weather outlooks for the weekend, and I will reveal which cities could see record warmth next week. You do not want to miss it. The weather is changing in a big way. Multiple historic events are unfolding. From feet of snow out west to severe storms in the south to potential blizzards in the northeast, the next 2 weeks will be incredibly active. Make sure you are prepared. Check your emergency supplies. Know your safe spots. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. And most importantly, stay informed. But wait, before I let you go, I need to share critical information that could save your life or property, because there are specific dangers associated with each of these storm systems that you absolutely must understand. Let us start with lightning safety. During the severe weather events this weekend, lightning will be a major threat. In the United States, lightning kills an average of 20 people per year and injures hundreds more. Here's what you need to know. If you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. The saying, "when thunder roars, go indoors," is absolutely true. Do not wait until the storm is overhead. Seek shelter immediately when you hear the first rumble of thunder. If you are caught outside during a thunderstorm and cannot get to a building or vehicle, here is what to do. Stay away from tall, isolated trees. Do not lie flat on the ground. Instead, crouch down on the balls of your feet with your head tucked and hands over your ears. This makes you a smaller target. If someone is struck by lightning, call 911 immediately. Lightning strike victims do not carry an electrical charge and are safe to touch. Begin CPR if they are not breathing. Many lightning strike victims survive if they receive immediate medical attention. Now let us talk about tornado safety, because this is critical for this weekend. If a tornado warning is issued for your area, you need to act immediately. Do not wait to see the tornado. By the time you see it, it may be too late. Go to the lowest level of your building. If you have a basement, go there. Get under a sturdy piece of furniture. If you do not have a basement, go to an interior room on the lowest floor. Bathrooms are good because the plumbing provides extra support. Closets work well too. Stay away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Cover yourself with blankets, pillows, or a mattress to protect from flying debris. If you are in a mobile home, get out immediately. Mobile homes are not safe during tornadoes, even if they are tied down. Go to a sturdy building or storm shelter. If you are driving and see a tornado, do not try to outrun it. Get out of your vehicle and seek shelter in a sturdy building. If no building is available, lie flat in a ditch or low-lying area and cover your head. Do not seek shelter under an overpass. This is one of the most dangerous places to be during a tornado. Now let us discuss flooding safety. More people die in floods than any other weather-related disaster in the United States. here is what you must remember. Turn around, do not drown. This is the most important flood safety message. Just 6 inches of moving water can knock you down. 1 foot of moving water can sweep your vehicle away. 2 feet of rushing water can carry away most vehicles, including SUVs and trucks. Never drive through flooded roads. You cannot tell how deep the water is or if the road has been washed away underneath. At night, this is especially dangerous because you cannot see the water depth at all. If your vehicle stalls in water, abandon it immediately and move to higher ground. Do not try to restart the vehicle. Water may be seeping into the engine or electrical system, and starting the vehicle could cause it to fail completely, trapping you. If you are in a building and water is rising, go to the highest level. Do not go into the attic unless it has an exit to the roof. Many people have been trapped and drowned in attics during floods. If you must go to the attic, take an axe or tools to break through the roof if needed. Never walk through moving water. 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet. If you must walk in water, use a stick to check the depth and stability of the ground ahead of you. Stay away from power lines and electrical wires. Water conducts electricity. A downed power line in water can electrify the entire area around it. If you see a downed power line, stay at least 35 feet away and call 911 immediately. Now let me talk about winter storm safety for those in the west and northeast. Hypothermia and frostbite are real dangers. Here is what you need to know. Hypothermia occurs when your body loses heat faster than it can produce it, causing your core body temperature to drop. Warning signs include shivering, exhaustion, confusion, fumbling hands, memory loss, and slurred speech. In severe cases, shivering stops, which is actually a bad sign because it means the body is losing its ability to warm itself. If you suspect hypothermia, get the person to a warm location immediately. Remove any wet clothing. Warm the center of the body first, the chest, neck, head, and groin, using blankets or skin-to-skin contact. Warm beverages can help, but avoid alcohol or caffeine. Seek medical attention immediately. Frostbite causes loss of feeling and color in affected areas, usually the nose, ears, cheeks, chin, fingers, and toes. Signs include numbness, white or grayish-yellow skin, and skin that feels unusually firm or waxy. If you notice frostbite, get into a warm room immediately. Do not walk on frostbitten feet or toes. Immerse the affected area in warm, not hot, water. Or warm the affected area using body heat. Do not rub the frostbitten area. Do not use heating pads, heat lamps, or a fireplace or stove for warming because affected areas are numb and can be easily burned. Seek medical attention. If you are traveling in winter weather, always have an emergency kit in your vehicle. This should include blankets, extra warm clothing, flashlight with extra batteries, first aid kit, knife, high-calorie non-perishable food like energy bars, water, medication, cell phone charger, shovel, ice scraper, jumper cables, flares or reflective triangles, and a bright-colored cloth to tie to your antenna. If you are stranded in your vehicle during a winter storm, stay with your vehicle. Do not try to walk for help unless you can see a building very close by. Run the engine for about 10 minutes each hour for heat, but make sure the exhaust pipe is not blocked by snow. Crack a window slightly for ventilation. Move your arms and legs periodically to maintain circulation. Use whatever is available to insulate your body from the cold. Let me give you specific school closure predictions for this weekend because I know parents need to plan ahead. Based on the storm timing and severity, here are my predictions. Friday, February 13th, schools in West Texas and New Mexico may have early dismissals due to approaching storms. This includes Lubbock, Amarillo, Midland, Odessa, and surrounding areas. Monday, February 16th, schools across much of the South and Southeast could be closed or delayed due to storm cleanup, flooding, or power outages. This includes areas of Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Specifically, watch for closures in Little Rock, Shreveport, Jackson, Birmingham, Montgomery, Atlanta, Columbia, and Charlotte. If that northeast storm develops as forecast, Tuesday, February 17th could see widespread school closures across New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Now, let me address power outage risks because this is important for preparation. Here are the areas most at risk for power outages over the next week. This weekend, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex has a moderate to high risk due to wind gusts potentially reaching 50 to 60 miles per hour Friday night. Trees could be uprooted, especially in saturated soil from the heavy rain. Power lines could be downed. In Oklahoma, Oklahoma City and Tulsa have a moderate risk Friday night into Saturday. Strong winds combined with heavy rain could bring down trees and power lines. In Arkansas, Little Rock and surrounding areas have a moderate to high risk Saturday due to heavy rain, strong winds, and possible severe storms. Flooding could also impact electrical infrastructure. In Louisiana, northern parishes including Caddo, Ouachita, and surrounding areas have a moderate to high risk Saturday afternoon and evening due to severe storms. In Mississippi, Jackson Metro and surrounding counties have a high risk Saturday night into Sunday due to severe storms and heavy rain. In Alabama, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Mobile have a moderate to high risk Sunday due to severe storms. In Georgia, Atlanta Metro has a moderate risk Sunday afternoon and evening due to heavy rain and possible severe storms. On the West Coast next week, Northern California, including San Francisco, Oakland, Sacramento, and Eureka, have a high risk for power outages Monday through Thursday due to strong winds and heavy rain. Gusts could exceed 60 to 70 miles per hour in some areas. Central California, including Fresno, Bakersfield, and San Luis Obispo, have a moderate to high risk next week. Southern California, including Los Angeles and San Diego, have a moderate risk next week. Oregon and Washington coastal areas have a moderate to high risk next week due to strong winds and heavy rain. If you lose power, here is what you need to do. First, report the outage to your utility company immediately. Keep refrigerators and freezers closed to maintain temperature. A full freezer will keep food frozen for about 48 hours if unopened. Never use a generator indoors or in an attached garage. Carbon monoxide from generators can kill you in minutes. Place generators outside at least 20 feet from windows, doors, and vents. Never use a gas stove or oven to heat your home. This produces carbon monoxide, which is deadly. Use flashlights instead of candles to reduce fire risk. If you must use candles, never leave them unattended. Turn off or disconnect appliances and electronics to avoid damage from power surges when power is restored. Keep one light switched on so you will know when power returns. If you have medical equipment that requires electricity, have a backup plan. Contact your medical equipment provider about battery backups. Know where the nearest hospital or emergency shelter is located. Now let me discuss the economic impacts of these storms because they will be significant. The Valentine's Day weekend storm system will impact retail sales as people will stay home rather than shop. Restaurants will see reduced business, especially Friday night and Saturday. This could result in millions of dollars in lost revenue across the affected states. Agricultural impacts will be substantial. The heavy rains will benefit drought-stricken areas, but could delay fieldwork and damage some crops. In Texas, the strong winds could damage wheat crops. In California, the heavy rains could delay citrus harvest and damage some orchards. The West Coast storms will impact shipping and logistics. Ports in Los Angeles, Long Beach, Oakland, and Seattle could see delays next week. This could have ripple effects on supply chains across the country. Insurance claims from these storms could reach into the hundreds of millions of dollars. Wind damage, flooding, and hail damage will be the primary culprits. If you have property damage, document it immediately with photos and videos. Contact your insurance company as soon as possible. Let me give you a recreation and tourism impact forecast. Ski resorts in the Sierra Nevada will see incredible conditions after next week's snow. Mammoth Mountain, Squaw Valley, Heavenly, North Star, and others will have some of the best conditions in years. However, access could be difficult with highway closures and dangerous driving conditions. Plan accordingly if you are heading to the mountains. In the Rockies, ski resorts in Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana will also see improved conditions next week. Park City, Alta, Snowbird, Aspen, Vail, Breckenridge, Jackson Hole, and others will benefit from fresh snow. Beach and coastal tourism will be impacted on the West Coast next week. California beaches will be dangerous due to high surf, rip currents, and king tides. Stay out of the water. Coastal flooding is likely in some areas. In the South, Valentine's Day weekend plans will be disrupted. Outdoor venues, parks, and attractions will see reduced attendance. If you have reservations or tickets, check with the venue about cancellation or rescheduling policies. National and state parks will be impacted. In California, Yosemite could see road closures due to heavy snow. Sequoia and Kings Canyon could be difficult to access. Joshua Tree could see rain and flash flooding. Death Valley could see rare rain and flash flooding. In the South, parks could see flooding and storm damage. Check park websites and social media for updates before visiting. Let me give you a wildlife safety alert. During storms, wildlife behavior changes. Animals seek shelter just like humans. Here is what you need to know. Snakes and other reptiles may seek shelter in unusual places, including garages, sheds, and even homes. Be careful when moving items that have been stored. Use a flashlight and stick to check before reaching into dark areas. Alligators in the south may be more active during warm periods before storms. If you encounter an alligator, maintain a safe distance of at least 30 feet. Never feed alligators or approach them. Bears in mountain areas of California and the Rockies may be emerging from dens during warm periods. Store food properly when camping or in mountain homes. Never approach a bear. Deer and other large animals may be crossing roads more frequently during storms. Be extra cautious when driving, especially at dawn and dusk. Use high beams when appropriate and watch for eye shine along roadsides. Now let me discuss air quality concerns because they are relevant for California. When heavy rains fall after extended dry periods, dust and pollutants are washed into the air initially, which can temporarily reduce air quality. People with asthma or respiratory conditions should be aware of this. In California, the heavy rains will wash pollutants from the air, ultimately improving air quality after the initial period. However, if you have respiratory conditions, have your medication ready and limit outdoor exposure during the initial rain periods. Flooding can also create mold issues in homes and buildings. If your home floods, begin cleanup and drying within 24 to 48 hours to prevent mold growth. Wear protective equipment, including gloves, masks, and boots when cleaning flood-damaged areas. Let me give you a pet safety reminder. Pets are affected by severe weather too. Here is how to keep them safe. Bring pets indoors during severe weather. Do not leave them chained outside where they cannot seek shelter. If you must leave pets outside, provide adequate shelter from wind and rain. Have a pet emergency kit ready. Include food, water, medications, medical records, leashes, carriers, and comfort items. Know which hotels or shelters accept pets in case you need to evacuate. During thunderstorms, pets may become anxious or frightened. Create a safe, quiet space for them away from windows. Consider anxiety wraps or calming supplements if recommended by your veterinarian. Never leave pets in vehicles during storms. Temperatures can change rapidly, and pets can be injured by flying debris or flooding. If you evacuate, take your pets with you. Do not leave them behind. Many people who evacuated during past disasters without their pets later regretted it. Now let me address a question many people ask. How accurate are these forecasts? Meteorology has improved dramatically over the past few decades. Short-term forecasts, 1 to 3 days out, are quite accurate, typically 80 to 90% for precipitation and temperature forecasts. Medium-range forecasts, 4 to 7 days out, are still good but less accurate, typically 60 to 70%. Long-range forecasts, 8 to 14 days out, become less specific, but we can still identify patterns and general trends. The forecast I have given you today is based on the latest computer model data, satellite observations, radar data, and surface observations from thousands of stations across North America. Meteorologists analyze this data and apply scientific principles to predict future weather. However, small changes in atmospheric conditions can lead to significant changes in forecasts, especially for severe weather. This is why I emphasize the importance of checking updated forecasts daily and having multiple ways to receive weather warnings. Let me tell you about the tools you should use to stay informed. First, download a weather app that provides radar and alerts for your location. Good options include Weather Underground, the Weather Channel app, or your local news station app. Second, purchase a NOAA weather radio. These radios automatically alert you to warnings for your specific county. They work even when cell phone networks are down. Third, follow trusted meteorologists on social media. Many local meteorologists provide excellent updates on social media platforms during severe weather events. Fourth, know your local National Weather Service office and follow them. They provide official warnings and detailed forecasts for your area. Fifth, if you live in a tornado-prone area, consider a weather alert system that ties into your home automation. Some systems can turn on lights and sound alarms when warnings are issued. Now, let me share a historical perspective. The weather pattern we are experiencing is not unprecedented, but it is significant. Similar patterns have occurred in the past. In February 2015, a major winter storm brought heavy snow to parts of the Northeast. In February 2019, an atmospheric river event brought feet of snow to the Sierra Nevada. In February 2021, a historic cold outbreak and winter storm impacted Texas and much of the South. What makes this pattern noteworthy is the combination of impacts. We have severe weather in the South, heavy snow in the West, and potential impacts in the Northeast, all occurring within a 10-day period. This highlights the complexity and variability of weather systems. Let me give you a climate context as well. We are transitioning out of La Niña conditions, which typically bring drier conditions to the southern United States and wetter conditions to the Pacific Northwest. As La Niña weakens and we move toward neutral conditions, we see a shift in the jet stream pattern. This allows storms to take different tracks and bring precipitation to areas that have been dry. Climate change is also influencing weather patterns. Warmer temperatures lead to more moisture in the atmosphere, which can result in heavier precipitation events. While no single weather event can be directly attributed to climate change, the overall trend toward more extreme weather events is consistent with climate science predictions. Now let me address storm chasing and photography. I know some of you are tempted to go out and photograph or chase these storms. Please prioritize safety. Storm chasing should only be done by trained professionals with proper equipment and knowledge. If you want to photograph storms, do so from a safe location. Never put yourself in danger for a photograph. If you see storm damage, do not approach it unless you are a first responder or trained professional. Downed power lines, unstable structures, and flooding create dangerous conditions. Let emergency personnel do their jobs. If you want to help after storms, consider donating to reputable disaster relief organizations like the Red Cross, Salvation Army, or local food banks. Volunteer through official channels. Do not self-deploy to disaster areas, as this can hinder professional response efforts. Let me give you some final city-specific guidance that I have not covered yet. Abilene, Texas, you will see rain Friday into Saturday. Rainfall 1 to 2 inches, temperatures in the 60s. Amarillo, Texas, rain moves in Friday, could mix with snow to the north. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Brownsville, Texas, isolated showers possible Saturday night, mostly dry. Temperatures in the 70s. Corpus Christi, Texas, increasing clouds Saturday. Isolated showers possible. Temperatures in the 70s. Laredo, Texas, mostly dry through the weekend. Temperatures in the 70s. Midland, Texas, rain Friday. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. San Angelo, Texas, rain Friday into Saturday. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Victoria, Texas, increasing clouds Saturday. Showers possible. Temperatures in the 70s. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, heavy rain Saturday. Rainfall 2 to 3 inches. Temperatures in the 60s. Hot Springs, Arkansas, heavy rain Saturday. Temperatures in the 60s. Alexandria, Louisiana, heavy rain Saturday night. Possible severe weather. Temperatures in the 70s. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, heavy rain and storms Saturday night into Sunday. Temperatures in the 70s. Lafayette, Louisiana, heavy rain and storms Saturday night. Temperatures in the 70s. Monroe, Louisiana, heavy rain Saturday afternoon and evening. Temperatures in the 70s. Biloxi, Mississippi, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 70s. Columbus, Mississippi, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Greenville, Mississippi, heavy rain Saturday night into Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Meridian, Mississippi, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Vicksburg, Mississippi, heavy rain Saturday night into Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Anniston, Alabama, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s. Auburn, Alabama, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Decatur, Alabama, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s. Florence, Alabama, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s. Gadsden, Alabama, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the 60s. Huntsville, Alabama, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the low 60s. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, heavy rain Sunday. Possible severe weather. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Albany, Georgia, rain Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Athens, Georgia, rain Sunday evening. Temperatures in the low 60s. Columbus, Georgia, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Macon, Georgia, heavy rain Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Valdosta, Georgia, rain Sunday into Monday. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there, and remember, I will have another update for you tomorrow with all the latest information. Until then, take care and stay weather aware.